night, Papua New Guinea. I'm your host, Godwin Eki, and welcome to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. On tonight's show, we'll be looking at canoe racing, the new Erima Primary sporting events. We review the weekend NSL matches and the SP Hunters match against TweedHead Seagulls. We start off with tonight lawn bowling. We caught up with the Vice President of Defence Lawn Bowling Club. Here's what he had to say.
Afternoon, yeah. We're trying to make a fundraising for all Manico, Lay, Pennant, next weekend, Easter weekend.
Right.
Because the Pennant is where all clubs have to go compete to find out one club in the country and best club in the country. So me by go Lay, me by 16 per Manico. So me by try to make him raise him some money. So we are here doing these games. Second game, me I host him. Me I got calendar lo behind him. Me I behind him. Suppose calendar it was a national event. Me behind him na play. Suppose club event. Me play club event. Time in Ogat. Me I call him social balls. Me I can play. That's when I go racing league money bro club. Lo this year national event. Me I got master singles where only can play finish lo February na only go finish na. Me I got one brother so emba come no September 16 tackle force. But me host him no year tackle force national event. All other club events and by any time of week I may play.
I'm sure all you bowling enthusiasts know the rules about this game, but if you didn't know, well, this is called bowling and this is a ball. With the ball, if you're going to play this game, you need a tape to measure the distance between the jack and the ball, and you need yourself a pen, a score paper, and a chalk.
Here you don't need to apply. You just walk in and ask him to me like come up member. Okay, on Nupa line, me give him 200 kina to come up member. All per line, 150 kina. Okay, o Yambla man, o Yambla mangi, me put him 75 kina. Before you miss I talk him game or lapun man or me na kaini go sema. Now no gat. Me been simply or beginning lo here go lo arafue. I'm under the age of 18. So this per sports now, and we come up with some sports for beginning. So PNG games coming up in November in Lay. The age is from 25 and below. Over, me pay no gat now. Time me pay no gat now. So usado yambra mangi like now interest on him. Or you can go join him any club inside lo Papua New Guinea lo take part lo play balls. Because inside lo Papua New Guinea we got 5% that so. Wambra am Lay, Madan, Goroka, Hagen, defense. Defense cover him Central Province na NCD. So from this club, yeah, me I put him 2 team lo take part lo PNG games. Because code games suppose more than five clubs by take part. So suppose me talk 5 la and me not so NCDs I come out from here. So Yambra Mangi who said like play by come look me palo here me start him up in his training all Mangi lo select him all Mangi lo take part lo PNG games lo lay. Me pick him both Central Province na NCD. It no cost him money. Just bring him body build as well come because when I'm condition for PNG games, just find him anybody on the street, bring him all come na hidden talent, yeah, produce him also. Me pa behind him just bring your body alone, me pa by train him you, na me pa look you play good, me pa put you in city, Central Province, na flame you across, na you go play low PNG games in November.
If you're interested in joining the club, head down to Murray Barracks on the weekend and try out. No admission fees or any other fees charged. Youths of Poribada Village attended a canoe racing event over the weekend at Elo Beach. This event was held to bring out young athletes interested in canoeing. Both male and females took part in the canoe racing, showing off their canoeing skills. We managed to get an interview with the founder of Poribada Canoe Club, Jonathan Kasman. Let's take a look.
races, most likely to Canoe. Over there, that's a potential venue for the 2015 games. And then we'll try the other venue. Ideally, we'd like to take it out of Mosby,
Right.
so there's more rural interest in our sport.
With only 14 months remaining, canoe racing is now back on track as central villages around Port Moresby are preparing for one of the biggest games in the Pacific region. Canoe racing saw some very interesting young and like-minded athletes who came along to attend the competition to represent their province while showcasing their canoe racing skills and tactics. As the country is going through preparations, founder of Elavala Canoe Club, Jonathan Kasman, is preparing his athletes for the Pacific Games. He says he needs as many young people to come and try out.
We'd love to get a sponsor, just for the paddlers to get recognized for their little efforts, especially the out-of-town ones. As you can see, the interest is growing. It's an exciting sport. It's a sport that's one of the compulsory 12 sports in the Pacific Games, so every Pacific Games it's going to be in. It's predominantly a Polynesian sport, but definitely us Melanesians have been paddling. Our bubus have been paddling, and I'm sure we can challenge them.
There are 3 to 4 canoe clubs in the country, including the Royal Papua Canoe Club. Village-based clubs like Kaparoko and Kempa also came out to attend the canoe racing. Canoeing has always been in the Pacific Games and is one of the 12 compulsory sports in the Pacific Games. This event will run at the end of each month, and interested athletes, sportsmen and women, are welcome to come and try out. The canoe racing will be held at the end of each month in search of potential canoe racing athletes. We'll go for our first break, so stick around. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Team. Welcome back to the show. To the National Soccer League, and some hard fought-out matches were on the cards as Admiralty travelled to the St. Ignatius Kilage Stadium to take on home side Ley. While back in Port Moresby, it was a new-look Besta FC taking on the old heads of Oro.
Well, after last week's draw, both teams have made improvements to their playing rosters. For RFC, most notably, it's been the signing of Toru Simoy and Mante Kavo from University. And for Besta, well, Chuxton Alpi is now playing against his former club. He's been one of the new signings they've had, and their marquee is number 6, Felix Comalong.
It was a slow start to the match with so many changes made on both sides. The game almost seemed experimental in nature. But the quiet soon left as Oro's Gary Moka, fit and ready after his injury spells, began dominating the center of the park. Holding on and turning, clever passes were sent out to his wider players, although too much time on the ball allowed for the Besta defense to easily cover. Besta's John Ray, normally a defender, marshaled his own troops from within the midfield and urged his young side to push up. Nicky Benjamin almost opened the scoring but was off target. Oro were playing with a deeper defensive line, the previous week's draw having given them ample time to study the Besta attack. They used their experience to good advantage time and again. Moka threading a ball through. Alan Kororo, poor in his decision making, when an early shot would have done. Just when it appeared the game would go into a lull with little urgency to score, a through ball to new signing Toru Simoy brought the game to life. The initial shot blocked, but Leana Geno following up and being rewarded for his efforts. That proved to be the spark as the game now picked up. The halftime break approached with Oro leading 1-0. Both coaches were impressing on their players to up the tempo in the second half. And if the first half was dominated by Oro, the start of the second belonged to Besta. Changes with both John Ray and Felix Comalong brought off. That should have sparked a revival as Oro began to be placed under a lot of pressure. 3-1 it ended, with Oro now moving up a notch on the NSL ladder. Eastern Stars had been largely disappointed in round 1, and against Gigera Laitepo Morobe it would be a real test of their character. Coach Trevor Ire had followed suit with other clubs in new signings and was hopeful they would make the difference. Morobe had taken a 2-0 lead early, but a beautiful take by Eastern Stars' Brett Seriba ensured his team took a share of the points as the Stars fought back from that deficit. To draw the match 2-2.
Admiralty had taken the lead early, but the late fight back, including a double by Clement Pekka, ensured their win. Still on soccer, and the OFC Champions League featured 11 teams vying for 4 semi-final spots to qualify for the Club World Cup, and PNG NSL champions Hekari United were representing the country.
Hekari were looking for a bright start to their campaign, knowing that a top 4 finish would guarantee them a place in the semi-finals. Their first opponents, Vanuatu champions Tafea, were themselves eyeing the top prize. It was a nervous opening for both teams, Hekari not having had enough preparation prior to the tournament, and Tafea began to expose Hekari's normally tight defense. Hekari were 2-0 down early on and looked out of sorts on occasion. Defensive errors cost Hekari again, and Tafea added a third before full time. The second match against New Caledonian side MS Magenta showed a much more confident side. Hekari were looking on track to now make a serious challenge for first place in Group C, but when goalkeeper Leslie Kalai was red-carded, for the whole complexion of the game was changed. Magenta using their extra man to tire the Hekari defense and soon being able to reply and equalize. Against Ba, Hekari knew they had to win. Ba were heavy favorites after beating Magenta and Tafea, both by big margins, and they were expected to breeze past Hekari. Tutizama Tanito smashed a powerful left footer home after 37 minutes to send the Hekari bench in raptures and the home crowd in silence. Anticipating victory and a big upset, Hekari began to press. They needed to score another, and quickly. But with 14 minutes left of regulation time, Ba broke Hekari hearts with the equalizer. That goal eliminating Hekari from the 2014 season, completing a dismal campaign for the Reds.
We'll go for a break, and coming up next, the Digicel Cup gets launched and the SC Hunters prove too strong for the TweedHead Seagulls. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Welcome back. The country's premier sporting competition, the Digicel Cup, was launched over last Tuesday as captains, managers and sponsors of the franchises all attended. With rugby league being described as the most popular sport in the country, much talked about the positive impact that the game could have on the people of Papua New Guinea. Let's take a look.
The launching, hosted at the Crown Plaza in Port Moresby, marked the kickoff of the long-awaited competition. Among the evening's guests were Enga Governor Peter Ipatas and Minister for Sports Justin Chichenko. Digicel CEO John Mangos said his company was proud to continue a long-lasting relationship with the competition.
A number of years ago to get the opportunity to sponsor this and change it to the Digicel Cup. It's something which has a lot of positive values, which mirror exactly what we're looking for in Digicel. We like to get behind things which are well managed, have a big impact on the community, and something we can see we can make a difference at.
He also made mention that Digicel would be broadcasting a number of matches in their bid to bring more coverage of the games to the people.
Making it much more available to a much wider audience. We're actually going to continue that. We're actually going to broadcast a number of these games as well, because we believe we can actually bring this to a wider audience, bring those values to the community. It'll help everybody grow.
With the captains of the 10 franchises lined up behind him, Sports Minister Justin Chichenko acknowledged the support of the sponsors of the competition, but was also quick to point out the shortfalls of the game's administration on previous occasions.
The Digicel Cup was there when rugby league was an absolute disgrace, mismanaged and all over the place. Now that the government has contributed to getting it back on board, we still must be committed to the Digicel Cup as a stepping stone for rugby league in our country.
The competition is set to kick off on Sunday, April 13, and the teams taking part include the Snacks Tigers, Hela Wigman, Mende Murks, TNA Lions, Mount Hagen Eagles, Gorkala Hanis, Rabal Gurias, Enga Mioks, and Gulf Isapea. With the formation of the SP Hunters team in the Intra Super Cup, defending premiers Port Moresby Vipers were among the big teams that had lost a number of good players from its playing roster. Captain for Port Moresby Vipers Richard Cambo was also looking forward to the new season, but downplayed his team's premiership status.
Are you hoping for the same result again this year?
Last year was different, this year is different new group of players, but we're working towards that, we're working together, and we're taking one game at a time. So.
With 92 games to be played over 8 venues and an estimated 500,000 spectators, the Digicel Cup has been described as the largest single sporting event in the country.
The SPPNG Hunters defeated the TweedHead Seagulls in a high-scoring affair at the Callabong Oval in Kokopo, Eastern Britain Province with a convincing 36-26 win. The win was welcome news for the team, which had been criticised previously by their coach for allowing too much complacency into their game.
On the 30-meter mark.
The Hunters had been looking for a much improved performance against TweedHead and did just that, leading with 2 converted tries early in the match.
Cleaned up by Cody Nelson, now he's offloaded to...
The Seagulls fought back and trailed by 6 points soon after.
Well, he's over, and I think he's managed to put it...
While the Hunters maintained a tight line and showed determination in defense, a lapse in concentration allowed their opponents to gain much more ground and territory.
And here comes Sirunen. Sirunen manages...
The Seagulls would not be daunted by Callabong's reputation and pressed forward again and again.
Saunders. He's put...
TweedHead matched the Hunters' intensity, but a ball out wide gifted the Hunters territory again, and the Hunters could have capitalized after outnumbering the Seagulls' left-hand side defense, only for the late pass to go begging.
Corey Blair and a good strong tackle coming up from the Hunters again.
The Hunters' tenacity and never-say-die attitude pulled them through at the end, increasing the margin with 2 well-worked tries.
The prop forward!
TweedHead scoring a late consolation as the Hunters won by 10 points, 36-26.
Erima Primary School celebrated its end-of-year academic term with a sporting event. Both students, teachers and even parents were invited to witness the event. Let's take a look. Despite the rain and mud, students of New Erima Primary School came in their sporting house colours to celebrate the end of Term 1 with a mini Olympic sports day. This event has been running since 1990 and has become a tradition in the school community. It's now a yearly event where parents, teachers and students come together at the end of term to celebrate the last day of school with a sporting event for the Easter season. The day started off with teams marching. All sporting teams had to march and show off their skills and talents. The sporting house competed in the selected sport for this year, which was track events. After the march, the teams started with their war cries while cheering for their own teams. Straight after this, it was game on. To open the games, teachers went on the tracks, both male and female, to kick off with the 50-meter relay. Students followed straight after the teachers with the 50 and 100-meter relay. Both boys and girls competed in junior and senior categories. New Erima Primary School celebrates its end-of-year academic term with a sporting event. Both students, teachers and even parents were invited to witness the event. Let's take a look. If you have any sports-related stories or would like us to cover your sports or featured stories, please send us an email to sportscene@mtv.com.pg. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, like our page or tune in to Hot Sport every Thursday nights for all your latest sporting events in and around the country. Well, as always, viewers, please go grab yourself a nice ice-cold Coca-Cola can or bottle and satisfy your thirst. Until next week, right here, same time, same place, on Coca-Cola Sports Scene, I'm Godwin Eki. See you then.